What is up, Weeb family? Been a hot minute, but you know I had to come back for this one. JJK literally had thousands of grown-ass men crying this week, and I'm not ashamed to say that I was not only one of them, but have now cried multiple fucking times during the rereads. And man, it hurts worse each fucking time. But right into what you want to hear. The full breakdown of Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 259. Teach him, big brother. We start right off with Big Bro Choso, coming to the harsh realization that he is shit at teaching. We also get the answer to the question we've all been wondering about the last 2 weeks. Who was the second person that Yuji soul swapped with? Well, come to find out, it was his fellow MC, Yuta fucking Akotsu. Possible RIP in there. And man, oh man, does that open up a whole lot. But we'll get into that at the end of the video, so stay tuned. Luckily for Yuji, at this point, Mr. Nah, I'd Run, aka Noritashi Kamo, is still on site to help teach Yuji convergence and break down bloodbending in general. Or blood manipulation. And good thing he's there, since Choso's line for teaching Yuji convergence is, it's kinda like then, like that, then a little. And Yuji, of course, hilariously responds, seriously, dude? Kamo comes in with some actual real information. Think of taking a hot bath and how you can feel the heat encompassing your entire body. In the same way, you can expand your blood vessels, creating a vague outline of your body. That's the basic foundation of blood manipulation. Yuji with another zinger states, so it's like when you piss your pants? Whatever helps you understand, Kamo says. Now, convergence is a technique that compresses your blood, meaning we can use a sponge or paper, anything that can be crumpled in your hand easily to help with imagining. Fucking lost me, but okay. But he says they're best with the limited time to not focus on making it a weapon for Yuji, as it would be better for him to just get the basics of stitching and stopping blood down. He then eyeballs a already flustered Choso and says, see, idiot, this is what it means to teach someone. Choso interrupts saying, Supernova, ask me about Supernova. Me, I'm that guy. We go right back to where we left off with this truly amazing panel from Gege showing Sukuna activating his divine flame. We then learn that Sukuna can only open the furnace doors after preparing his ingredients, cleave and dismantle. Some more cooking innuendos in case you didn't catch all the others. But despite its absurd firepower within the furnace, it lacks both speed and range. To amend this though, and I'm sure you can guess what he did, Sukuna makes another binding vow. And this one means, outside of his domain, furnace cannot be used on multiple targets. This binding vow enabled Sukuna to not only reduce all within his domain's range to dust, but ensured that all the resulting particles were matted in the explosive cursed energy akin to furnace. On top of all this, Sukuna altered the functions of his domain once again, to one that would only allow entry to living beings, maintaining the shrine's output while sealing it airtight. Pretty much, you're all trapped and you're all gonna fucking die. We then finally get to see Gojo is back. Oh, wait, that's his sister. Oh, well, shit, that's fucking Urame. I thought for sure her and Hikari had either fallen in love at this point or decided, fuck it, it's a stalemate, let's go get some sake. But since she is clearly aware of Sukuna's technique, she states, this is our victory. As we see that infamous fire arrow that destroyed Maharaga hitting the ground, the heat of it spread the detonations, immediately bursting, scalding, instantly compressing and decompressing shockwaves, ensuring the death of all living beings within the domain. This is Ryomen Sukuna's ultimate technique, and goddamn what a spectacle. Since he was constantly adjusting his domain and pulling binding vows out of his ass against Gojo, it made it so the furnace remained cold, and Sukuna didn't have the freedom to unseal its flames. We then see the brothers calling out to each other as Yuji asks, what are you doing? And we then see a ball forming around Yuji. He then tells him, no, you can't do this. And yes, this is where the tears start flowing, peeps. Choso tells him, I'm sorry I was useless during training. Your big bro tends to, just do things on instinct. As we see him literally turning to ash, Yuji yells out, but can only say, Cho? He thinks to himself, instinctively, You really hit the nail on the head with that one. We then go back one more time to the table of brothers as Yuji and Choso talk about how quick Yuji figured out RCT. He says, "It's not me, it's because Sukuna happened to use it a lot while he was in my body." Choso responds, "Don't be so modest. It's only natural for the little brother to surpass his big brother eventually. That isn't any reason for you to leave though." Well, I need to apologize to Tsukumo too. Now, the tears are really flowing, but just wait, there's more. "Yuji, I'm sorry I'm leaving you on your own again." "That's what you were worried about? You were there for me when I needed someone the most. That's more than enough." Is that so? His other brother is also trying to reach out to Choso, as he states, "Our 150 years were all but a few days to Yuji." Lastly, we see the goat Choso just before turning to ash, as he says, "Thank you, Yuji. Thank you for being my little brother." Yuji responds in the best possible way. "Thank you, Ani, aka Big Brother." We then see the blood ball Choso created to protect Yuji slowly crumbling apart. Nothing but smoke and dust in the air and rubble on the ground. Yuji comes out seeing and fearing the worst. Is anyone? The narrator lets us know Yuji always told himself he was nothing but a cog in a machine that had to fulfill his role as needed. He should have been able to repay his brother who gave his life protecting him. Yet, as his eyes fell upon the scorched earth and cool stale air, he found his conviction shaken to its core. There is someone walking through the smoke, but of course, it's none other than Miwa. Sight! It's of course Sukuna, as Yuji yells out his name once more. And regardless of the brotherly blood ball and his RCT, my man's face is about 60% well done. Really overcooked, honestly. But one more person emerges from the smoke. And it is the one person I have been waiting to see since fucking Shibuya. Aoi Todo, our besto friendo, is back, baby. And for some reason, that hand is still wrapped, but I'll get into my theories for that at the end of the video. So stay tuned. We then see the plan him and Meimei set up, and that was to use Toto's boogie woogie to get everyone out of Sukuna's domain. She asks if that arm of his is really up to the task, and he lets her know I can still feel it, the throbbing beat, the pulse of boogie woogie. He tells Meimei they can't let his brother know about this plan. "You know why, don't you, Meimei?" She states their resonance. Indeed, Yuji and Sukuna were two souls in one body. Although severed, their connection still runs thick. I hear that the Yaso Haiichi Bridge mission was triggered by Itadori's swallowed finger resonating with one in the wild. She says, "You are suggesting that Itadori may unconsciously reveal the plans and details to Sukuna, correct?" "Yes. We'll do the same with the details behind Yuta's plan. Inform him to enact it only moments before." She lets him know her mouth and her body is tight as her purse strings. Maybe she just said her mouth, but I felt it was needed to be out of there. You know what I'm saying? Just a little something. Plan we just heard, the time spent fine-tuning his tech with Yuta, Toto being able to verify the safety of their allies, the fact he couldn't swap Yuji or Choso, as they were in the epicenter of his domain. There just simply wasn't enough time to tell Yuji any of this. Why, you ask? As Toto lets him know, "Sorry, brother. However, everyone else is most likely fine." Yuji in shock thinks, "Most likely fine? Well, I'll believe him. What else can I do now?" Because after using his domain, Sukuna has entered a state. As Yuji knuckles the fuck up and Toto rips the bandage from his hand like he normally does his shirt. And lastly, as we know, that state Sukuna has just entered is that domain hangover, where his CT becomes painstakingly difficult to use at all. Editor's note, brotherly bonds linked on the path to victory. And god damn, what a fucking chapter. What a fucking story. After I cleaned up the tears and, after rereading this chapter, I can say that it is by far one of my favorites of the series. The emotion, the hype of our besto friendo returning at the amazing moment once again, all in all, just amazing. Now, to touch on the first fact brought up earlier, we now know Yuji swapped with Yuta. Kinda gotta assume that is why his RCT is so good. And assuming they can only teach another person's body normal jujutsu techniques and not innate ones, makes me think that his time with Yuta was focused on learning the curse techniques Yuta has copied, since they're not necessarily his own innate curse technique, and only using the ones that he deemed the most useful. So in return, next chapter, I think we see Yuji pull out that bag and unleash his full goddamn arsenal of CTs and skills that are now ingrained in his body. I also think we are at that point where if any of our JJK crew did survive after being removed by Wee Wee, it's about time they show the fuck up. Now, I love that we got a little bit more insight into Sukuna's abilities, at least his Divine Flame, Furnace, which, I prefer Divine Flame, obviously. But goddamn, can we just get the full Shrine review already? I mean, I'll take a whole fucking chapter on it if I have to. Just let's get it. To the besto friendo, I have some questions. Why the fuck is that arm still wrapped after this long? Clearly not still injured if he's, removing it to start the fight. So, I'm thinking our boy got the Luke Skywalker treatment and has himself a shiny new metal hand. The only other question I have, though, is why is it so fucking big? On that note, I can't wait till next week, as rejoice, fellow weebs, there is no break next week. But, most importantly, what did you guys think? What do you think's gonna happen? Let me know in the comments, and if you liked the video, drop a like, even subscribe. Appreciate the hell out of each and every one of you that do, and you'll get even more anime content just like this for free. As always, you've been amazing. I've been Weeb Dad, and remember, even a weeb can have Riz. Peace!
Yeah!